Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fruit of Grisaia. In the last episode, we got to meet a few more of our classmates. Some of them seem to like us, some of them are afraid of us, and some of them want to stab us with a box cutter. Pretty normal, I guess.
Yeah, sounds like my high school experience.
Actually, you know what? I believe that. Mine was a little bit more on the fear side, I think. No, people weren't afraid of me, I just didn't get along with people very well. You can attest to that.
You know what? Could have been worse.
Yeah.
Could have been worse.
I could have been stabbed with a box cutter.
Yeah. Or had your weave pulled out.
Ooh, yeah.
I remember that one. That was funny.
Oh my gosh. No matter what sort of life you're living, you'll run into people who just won't listen to what you have to say. Boy, that's a heck of an opening line.
Mm-hmm.
When words don't get through, the easiest alternative is beating them into submission. Well, certainly a bit of a rough solution, but when you're dealing with another man, it's at least an option. But when you're dealing with a woman, let alone a shrimp of a girl who doesn't come up to your shoulder, it's a different story. We're already off to a very strange start. If you start swinging your fists around out of irritation and under those circumstances, anyone would call it bullying the weak. It's bad style and would leave an unpleasant aftertaste. What's called for in such situations is perseverance and patience. In this age of rapid scientific progress, I'd like some machine you could stick on your back, throw the switch to Zen-like, and instantly gain infinite self-control. But sadly, despite the market potential for such a device, the world isn't yet such a convenient place. Well, no big deal. Fortunately enough, I'm pretty used to endurance tests. I thought this is where this was going.
I was soliloquying.
It happens. If you see me get this dead look in my eyes and don't say anything, I'm probably in my head. It's been 5 minutes since I spotted Irisu Makina wandering aimlessly around the campus and called out, "What are you up to?" in a casual tone. On the bright side, she reacted to my voice and stopped dead in her tracks instead of fleeing, but beyond that, things haven't gone well. Staring fixedly at my face, Makina doesn't speak a word.
Can you not speak Japanese?
I don't know how to interpret that. Silent as always, Makina shakes her head back and forth in denial, apparently having understood my question.
Are you afraid of me, maybe?
Her silence continues, and this time there's neither confirmation nor denial. It doesn't seem likely that she didn't understand the question, which would mean this one is in uncertain territory somewhere between yes and no, as far as I can guess.
Yo!
Schrodinger's fear. I'm repeating myself, but this sort of communication takes a lot of patience and persistence. I try to consciously consider things from Makina's point of view. I just imagine him crouching now to get onto her level.
Yes, that's exactly what I imagined. Man, this is a lot shorter.
So this is what the world looks like from this height. A transfer student with an unclear background. What's more, a man 178 centimeters high. From the perspective of Makina, who I'd guess to be around 140 centimeters, it might
that's tiny.
Seriously, I don't know what that... Yeah, not sure.
So let me put it this way. It's fucking tiny.
Okay, that clarifies it.
Because I am in the... Well, it depends on what country I'm in. In certain Asian countries, you know what, doing pretty fine. But in the U.S., not tall. Not a tall guy.
Yeah.
But I'm 166.
Okay, that does indeed clarify.
And that is 5'5".
Okay, you got me.
So,
that explains it. It might well be a little intimidating to have me towering above her. For the moment, I crouch down so that my eyes are level with hers. Okay, I didn't think we were actually going to do that, but here we are.
Now I'm going to give her a head pat. Who's a good girl?
You want me to scratch behind your ears?
It seemed like you were wandering around the grounds. Are you looking for something?
Would you like a Scooby snack? Alright, no Scooby snack for you then. Makina speaks a single word in a quiet voice, and once again shakes her head in denial. Then what were you doing? That's a point of some interest to me, but, well, if you get down to it, wherever she is and whatever she's doing is her own business, I suppose. I'm not a policeman, and I don't have any reason to drag it out of her. In this case, it might be best to find some words to wrap this up cleanly, give her a friendly goodbye, and let this timid creature be on her way, back into the forest. But as I reach this conclusion, Makina slowly moves her hand to the rear of her skirt, grabs something with her stubby fingers, and pushes it in front of my eyes. Is it another cicada on a lasso?
What's this thing?
At a glance, the item in Makina's small hand is a toy-like object roughly the size of an egg, with an LCD screen buried into the center. It's a Tamagotchi!
That's what I was thinking.
It's exactly what it is.
What's that?
I wasn't expecting the sound. Is that the sound she always makes, or was that the Tamagotchi? On closer examination, there's some unknown life form or monster, most closely resembling a chick, displayed in blocky pixels on the central LCD.
Do we have a thing where we can replay the sound clip?
I don't know. I can try. Let's see. Nope.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
All right.
I know. That would have been great, but alas.
I just imagined it in a different type of scene, and it was really funny.
Oh, gosh. It seems to be programmed with some cheap animations, about 3 patterns or so. Come to think of it, I remember reading a news article about this a few years ago, after developing the smallest 3-axis geomagnetism sensor in the world at the time. A certain company fed that technology into a children's electronic toy, which then became an explosive hit among grade schoolers.
It's a pedometer, right? One of those things where the pet grows up faster the more you walk?
Oh, so it's more like Pokemon Go. Nodding her head, Makina returns the pedometer in her hand to her waist. In other words, she wasn't looking for anything in particular. Her wandering itself was the objective.
Walking's a good thing, since it's aerobic exercise without too much strain on the joints. And if you're going to walk anyway, having some sort of visible result from the effort might make it feel more worthwhile.
That's very analytical, but true. Makina points at the school gate as she speaks. I see. It makes sense that she'd want to avoid crowded places, given her extreme shyness. That would restrict her strolls to pacing around the school grounds, which would quickly get repetitive. So the digital pet serves as a distraction from that boredom, most likely.
You like taking walks?
Alright.
Sorta isn't. What? I don't know why that delivery was the way it was, but it's fine.
That's fine.
It's like a table read.
Sorta, is it? Alright, Rabbit, you've convinced me.
Sorry, so he's in the stove, eh? It really is probably in my top 3 favorite episodes.
Oh, it's so funny. That and The Rabbit of Seville.
Oh, that one's so good.
That one's great. I know. I miss watching those. Those were... they were just so good. They never get old.
What's Opera Doc? Opera Doc?
Spirit Magic Helmet.
Those ones were really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those... Man, yeah.
Well, walking for fun at this age might be a little odd. It seems more like the hobby of an old man. No, it's only the hobby of an old man if she's doing it around a dying mall at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday.
You have any other interests, like reading, for example? Read any books lately?
What is a book?
Manga's fine too, whatever.
To tell the truth, I'd already heard from Amane that Makina often reads books, and reading is a hobby of mine as well. I think it's a decent common topic for starters. In response to my question, Makina holds her right index finger to her chin and mumbles, while gazing up at the sky.
She then goes blind, because that's the sun.
クイズの本
And now she can't read at all.
How ironic, after a lifetime of loving being able to read.
It's like that Twilight Zone episode.
Quiz, huh? Was it interesting?
裸眼で直視すると命に関わる危険なお菓子ってなんだ
Is it the sun?
A really hot woman? Oh. Huh?
Life-threatening to observe with the naked eye. What kind of death ray weapon is that? And sweet of all things, some new tech from the West? Just looking at it as dangerous, which would mean it's some variety of optical weapon? Something like an X-ray possessing mass, or some sort of beam saber-style light-based killing tool.
A really hot Medusa.
Actually, Medusa, except for all of the snakes, have laser beams for their eyes. No, but if just seeing it is dangerous, some sort of super weapon that radiates a pulse to the receptors of the eyeball, using a flickering pattern to stimulate the brain cells and trigger accelerated apoptosis? Alright.
So this is going to be the stupidest answer in the world. It's going to be great.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Hold it. This thing is a sweet, right? A sweet. What the heck? Where do we go from there? All I'm getting is some sort of chocolate pastry shooting out a mysterious beam of light. Pew pew pew.
Don't know. I give up. What's the answer?
みたらし団子
What?
What?
見たらし団子見たら死ぬのよ
Oh, it's a pun.
C and I get it. All right, I missed that angle. Candy.
もう言ってもいい
Well, you managed to fool the Sphinx with a riddle, so you may pass.
Yeah. Sorry to hold you up.
Without even a bye or later, Makina leaves the area at a trot, as if fleeing from me.
It doesn't seem like she outright hates me, though.
I feel like the bar for that's pretty low, considering I think the bar is slashing at us with a box cutter.
逆じゃないかな
How long have you been there?
Since the end of the last episode.
みたらし団子のあたりかな
I wish it would have been so much earlier.
I've been here the whole time.
Funny. Yep. What do you mean by the opposite?
あーまあなんつうか単純に人見知りってのもあるけどマキナはユージ君に嫌われないようにしてるんだと思うよ
Ah, okay.
Trying to not be disliked.
マキナって本当はもっと明るい子なんだけど明るすぎてうざがられることも多いから警戒してるのよ
Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense.
This isn't even my full energy.
True enough. I remember seeing her rushing around brandishing a cicada and cackling that first time. If that's her normal state, then the way she behaves in front of me would certainly be a product of deliberate self-restraint, but...
警戒しているってことはユージ君に嫌われないように意識してるって証拠じゃない
I think it could also be interpreted as simple fear as well.
まあ怯え半分ってのはあると思うけど大丈夫じゃないかな
Some say it's better to be loved than feared. I choose both.
What makes you say that?
さっきマキナと会話するときユージ君マキナの目線に合わせて腰を低くしたでしょあれって実は有効手段なんだよね
I mean...
I imagine him going down to, you know, the chest level for Amane. Hello, boys. How have you been? Like it's Blazing Saddles.
Oh, yeah. Hello there.
Huh. Yeah.
When I was a kid, there was a time I'd been surrounded by unfamiliar adults and found myself on the brink of tears. When one of the adults stooped down to talk to me face to face, I immediately got emotionally attached. Looking back, I feel like shouting, "You sure got attached to an outrageous person," or complaining about what an idiot I was, but...
ほら、私も背高い方だし、最初はマキナもなかなか懐かなくってさ、目線を合わせて話すって裏技に気づくのに1ヶ月もかかったよ。
And now she's glued to you or something like that?
確かにべったりだけど、言うほどいつも一緒ってわけじゃないわよ。マキナは基本的に一人で遊ぶ方が好きだし。
Is that how she learned to lasso cicadas?
それにあの子、感情のムラが激しいっていうか、あんまり変な意味にとってほしくないんだけど、ずっと一緒にいると疲れるのよね。
Okay, when you say mood swings, do you mean like she just has spurts of random energy, or do you mean like she flips on a dime and suddenly wants to, throttle to you? Because that's a big difference.
I mean, we do have somebody who tried to stab us like 18 times, so
But she's
I feel like
consistent.
the bar is only gonna go up.
She is consistent, though. She always wants to stab us. There's no unknown variable there.
That's true. That is true. Maybe she's playing by herself because she understands that.
うまく説明できないけど、猫みたいなものよ。構ってほしい時だけニャンニャン言ってすり寄ってきて、飽きたらスッといなくなっちゃう感じ？
So what you're saying is, give her treats.
くせっ気でふわふわしてるし、体もぐにゃぐにゃで柔らかいし、体温が高いから抱くと暖かいし、なんか甘ったるい匂いするし、猫っぽいよね。
Feel like that's some detail.
Yeah.
A cat. I see.
まあ、慣れないうちはそっけないかもしれないけど、絶対に悪い子じゃないから仲良くしてあげてよ。
I don't plan to force her to be friends if she doesn't want to be, but yeah, I'll try to avoid being hated.
If I avoid unnecessary contact, I shouldn't inspire any hatred, or come to hate anyone myself. In exchange, I won't be liked or come to like anyone either. Maintaining emotional distance along appropriate lines is an essential but extremely difficult aspect of forming efficient interpersonal relationships. That is very clinical. Of course, there are always these careless puppy dog types who will leap into your arms wagging their tails right from the start, or showing off their assets within the second episode.
何よ、私の顔じっと見て。
I wasn't talking about your face.
Well, just thinking about how beautiful you are.
キスしたくなっちゃった？
This is only episode 3, calm down.
All right, Amine, close your eyes.
うん。
Her chest swelling with some ridiculous expectation, Amine closes her eyes and thrusts out her lips as instructed.
And now we disappear.
Yep. Moving quickly and silently, I make good my getaway, leaving the girl to her foolishness. Aww.
どこ行ったのよ。もう意地悪。
I see. Makina may have the right idea. Leaving out later or goodbye entirely and silently running away certainly is less troublesome. Don't take it the wrong way, Amine. It's not that I hate you, I'm just trying to avoid being hated by you. I don't know that that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm not sure that's the best way, but it could be worse.
Gotta make her work for it. All of the other girls, we have to put in the effort. Amine's the only one that's in reverse.
Yep.
Read books in a well-lit area. This sounds like a loading screen message.
Yep.
That was a teaching of my master's.
I feel like that's
All right.
The master is just generic NPC. Master, what should I do? Try reading books in a well-lit area. All right, thanks.
That's great insight. Thank you, Master. At that time, I was accustomed to reading while shut up in a closet or dark room, so those words felt a bit refreshing. Of course, it's not like I'm worried about obeying the teachings of a woman who's already dead. Oh, and I'm still not good with direct sunlight. What are you, a vampire? But here I am searching for a bright place with a book in hand anyway. Aren't I adorable? I'm kind of disappointed. I was hoping we would get to meet the Master, but I guess not.
Master, what should I do? Wear SPF 40. All right. No reason to wander around looking for a sunny place in this shitty heat.
It's all heat and sun. Stepping away from the air-conditioned school building, I unfold the school's admission guide pamphlet. On the coded threefold brochure, there's a bird's-eye view illustration of campus, with a mark to the south of the schoolhouse annotated Planned Site of Library Construction.
Planned site. Meaning there isn't a library yet, I guess.
Although
I mean, it could be worse. It could be a, 4-story, just shitty level. Every time I replay that game,
just want to skip right past that part.
it's like 6 really good levels, and then it's like, yep. I'm like, oh.
And if I remember right, you go back in there twice, too.
No, I think you're only there. You're there in Halo 1, and then in Halo 2, you basically have a similar level.
That's it. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
Because there is a level I don't like in all 3.
Yeah.
It's the flood level of Halo 2, the library of Halo 1, and in Halo 3, it's the ship.
Oh god, I hate the ship.
With flood on that. Yeah.
I know, it's so annoying. I understand the purpose of the flood, and I think it makes sense within the story, but every time they introduce them, it just gets frustrating.
Yeah.
I think because they're so bullet spongy.
Yeah, and that ship level is just annoying.
Yeah, it's so labyrinthian, it's just... ugh. Although there is something library-esque on the second floor of the school building, the collection only holds around 200 books. You can apply to have a book stocked if you're after one in particular, and apparently a bookmobile replaces the existing collection every once in a while, but it doesn't seem like it's being used that heavily. In other words, there's no reason to go out of my way to borrow the key to use it. I brought my own books, and there are plenty of well-lit areas beside the library. While casually looking over the pamphlet, I find the words Rose Garden.
This is definitely our principal's doing.
乙女たちの通う学園にはやっぱりバラ園が必要よね。毎年新入生が入学する時期には先輩たちが自分で育てたバラを新入生の胸に添えるの。素敵。
Okay. I was not expecting the harp in the transition, but here we are.
Love it.
That's great. I'm really loving their use of sound effects. 10 on 10. And transitions. Makes me wish I could replicate that in editing, but that would be very difficult.
Oh, yeah.
Or so I can easily imagine a certain woman who doesn't know how to act her age deluding herself. Pretty flowers might calm your mind, but they won't fill your belly. Well, not with that attitude.
Not with that attitude. Now maybe we've been working together too long.
I think we might have, but that is okay. If you've got room to grow them, it would be better used for an edible plant. But telling her that would probably just make things unpleasant, like eating those plants. I'll just have to remember to greet Principal Tachibana with a good day, One-sama, the next time I see her.
Oh, rose garden, eh?
I don't have any interest in inedible flowers, but I guess there would be a shade tree or two as well. Imagining myself reading under a tree surrounded by blooming roses brings a smirk to my face. Guided by these silly thoughts, I decide to head toward the rose garden for the first and only time.
Hey, they might be roses, but it does remind me of Tuxedo Mask, one of my favorite anime characters.
I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking too. It sounds like we're just one of those bishoujo male protagonists. There he is, reading in the rose garden. Oh. And then he says something really sarcastic, and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
That just makes him Mr. Darcy.
You know, it actually does. That's a pretty good call. Now that's a reference. That's a reference.
I know, right?
I hope you love anime and classic literature, because that's what you're gonna get here.
We contain multitudes.
They call it a rose garden, but there's not a single one in bloom.
Based on the map, this is definitely the right spot, and there's even a white arch that seems appropriate, but from what I can see, there aren't any roses in flower. Maybe the garden's still a work in progress, or perhaps they're cutting the buds during the summer.
Well, not like I came to see roses in the first place, so whatever.
Oh my god, she ate a poisoned apple.
Well, that was a surprise.
I wasn't expecting anyone else to be here. No, more importantly,
The heck is she doing?
I'm trying to figure out, is that a cat or a dog? I can't
What?
tell.
Oh.
Behind her.
Oh.
I don't know. I approached silently and touched Makina's neck in the area her... Oh, carotid. I see. It took me a second. I so rarely see that spelled out, I couldn't remember how it was pronounced.
Understandable, actually.
I approached her silently and touched Makina's neck in the area of her carotid artery.
She's got a pulse.
I'm sorry, you just sounded like Snake when you said that.
She's got a pulse.
Yeah, that's all I could think.
No, if I wanted to be, it was a little bit more like early MGS2 Raiden, actually, when I think about it.
You know what,
but,
fair.
You know,
I don't know, that's just what I thought of.
it definitely did have the same intonation.
On close inspection, she's breathing quietly, so I guess the wicked stepmother, Amine, in this case, didn't feed her a poisoned apple. I was ahead of the reference, but here we are.
She's sleeping. Wait, this thing's a cat? A dog? I think.
Cat dog, cat dog. Okay.
Alone under the head's a little cat dog.
A large cat is serving as the soundly sleeping Makina's pillow. I had taken it for a stuffed animal at first glance. It sure looks like a fluffy toy, but when I draw close, the stubby ears buried in its fur twitch like miniature radar antennas. My next question, why sleep out here, soon resolves itself.
I see. That's definitely nice and cool here.
Cats are knowledgeable about cool places, or so they used to say. No, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
As for Makina, I expect she was wandering around by herself as per usual, then grew exhausted and collapsed into a sudden sleep on the spot. I watched the partially gnawed apple on Makina's chest rise and fall with her breathing.
She fell asleep in the middle of eating. Just like a baby.
This is still... I noticed that Makina's mouth is half open and dripping transparent drool. Not to mention her hair's a scruffy mess. The ribbon on her uniform is crooked, and she's wearing different socks on her left and right leg. What's with this girl? As I look down upon her, Makina suddenly snuffles noisily. Does her leg also twitch? Twitch, twitch.
Huh. What a weirdo.
It's been a while since the last time I laughed at a woman's sleeping face. Even as I'm filled with the desire to keep watching, discomfort at the peaceful atmosphere of this place also wells up within me. At that moment, I sense someone watching me, and look over to find that Makina's pillow cat has awoken and is staring up at me in surprise. Oh, yep, there's the cat. Hi, cat.
Sorry to bother you. Go back to sleep.
Nothing to see here. I leave them, taking care to avoid making noise, and sit under a tree a little ways away.
Phew.
Wandering around as she pleases, then falling asleep in the nearest cool place when she gets tired. I see. She certainly does remind you of a cat.
I'm envious.
That's not sarcasm or anything. I'm genuinely envious of Makina. I'm sure that she brings that little pocket of naturally peaceful space with her wherever she goes. I think that's something worth envying, and it's probably very precious to her as well. Which might well be why she doesn't want to step outside this sanctuary of a school when she can avoid it.
Sanctuary.
Sanctuary! Inside this sanctuary that would crumble in a moment without the protection of others. I wonder if the day will come when I too can sleep in that utterly defenseless way. Turning toward the sound, I noticed the fat white cat from before appearing from the direction of the thicket that I just left. Rustling its way through the foliage on stubby legs, it stops suddenly when it spots me sitting under the shade of my tree. Glaring at me with sleepy-looking eyes, it lets out a single disgruntled meow. I don't know if I would call that disgruntled, but sure.
Mr. Owl.
Mr. Owl. Meow, meow, meow. Meow too.
Meow too.
Oh, God.
We're so stupid.
I guess it could have been worse. We could have said Mewtwo. I don't know if that's worse.
Nah. No, we knew. I knew it was coming.
Yep.
My bad.
After getting suddenly awoken in the middle of a pleasant nap, it's only natural. If I were pulled out of bed on a Sunday morning by some pushy religious solicitors, I'm sure I'd make a similar face. Who's preaching to the cat?
Have you heard the good word of Bast?
Okay, you know what? Touché. Although the fat cat doesn't seem to have accepted my apology, he snuffles roughly and lumbers away from this place. As I'm watching the cat's dignified exit, the bushes start to rustle again. Come back, pillow cat. That is a long sound effect. I hear the sound of a dim-witted creature awakening and lazily stretching out its body. When I take a look, Makina's crouched on the ground on all fours, bending her back. Oh my god, she is a cat. She really is a cat in human form. Makina opens her mouth, holds down a yawn, and roughly rubs at the tears spilling out of the corners of her eyes. After a restless look around the area, she draws herself up off the ground. It's not like I'm doing anything I need to be ashamed of, but before I realize it, I've hidden myself from her. Then she starts scratching her ear with her foot. After standing stock still for a moment, Makina takes a bite from the apple in her hand and wanders off briskly.
And where's she off to now?
It doesn't look like she's got any particular destination in mind. Driven by an interest I find it difficult to pin down, I decide to quietly follow Makina. I guess this is the entire episode. We're just following Makina. It's like Makina's day out. There's no regularity to Makina's actions. Just when I think she's walking straight towards something, she'll come to a sudden stop, look around restlessly, and head off in a different direction.
Oh, she knows we're following her, I bet.
Probably. It doesn't seem like she's lost or anything, so I suppose she's just moving wherever her whims take her. It makes it incredibly troublesome for me to tail her. Not that it'd be a serious problem if she noticed me, but if I awkwardly call out to her now, I have the feeling she'll just run off again. I skillfully hide my presence and continue shadowing her movements. That's not creepy at all. Tailing a girl without her knowledge. Objectively speaking, I guess this would be stalking.
But from our subjective standpoint, it's still stalking.
Yes. Just as I'm finally starting to get fed up with following Makina's directionless rambling, which resembles the random staggering of a sleepwalker more than anything else, the rare wandering monster in question comes to a halt. Oh, so we've just been playing Monster Hunter, Makina Edition. Okay. Her resting place is an area on the outskirts of the school courtyard, in front of an artificial cement pond of uncertain purpose. Decoration? Makina totters her way up to the pond, thrusts her hand in the pocket of her skirt to retrieve some half-eaten white bread, and starts tearing off chunks to throw into the water. Every time Makina's small hand hurls a bit of bread into the pond, a loud splashing sound resonates from the surface of the water. Apparently there are fish being kept in the pond, and she's feeding them.
たくさん食べてまるまると太るといいのよさ。
Don't eat the koi.
But Magikarps are just skin and bones.
It's just gold-plated. Oh! She's fattening them up to eat.
ザニガニ
Clawfish? I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. Oh?
I mean, he looks as confused as we do.
What you looking at, punk? Makina looks around the area rapidly, grabs a short tree branch lying nearby, then leans over the depths of the pond and begins poking into the water. Although I was puzzled there for a moment, it seems like she's trying to capture a crawfish that she spotted in the pond.
もうちょいザニガニもうちょいこっち
Come in here. We're gonna make some jambalaya tonight. Get over here, crawdad.
We gonna get one of them crawdaddies and make up them the jambalaya from the bayou.
This looks risky. Given her character, it's obvious she'll be taking a face-first dive into the pond very soon if I just sit here. I approach Makina from behind and call out to her, which makes her take a
She will
face-first dive into the pond.
go in. Yep. Hey, watch out or you'll fall into that pond.
And pond. I guess I shouldn't have called out to her out of nowhere. Makina's hand slips off the ground in a stereotypical slapstick pratfall.
Wait. She won't fall until she looks down.
Oh yeah, you're right. Just don't look down, Wile E. Coyote this.
Oops.
Swiftly reaching out to the floundering Makina, I firmly seize the collar of her school uniform and pull her back to safety.
How deep is it?
I don't know. It shouldn't be that deep. Dangled by the nape of her neck like a kitten, Makina lets out a feline cry.
You're light. Are you even 40 kilos?
There isn't any difference in weight from the backpack I'm always carrying. Given this weight and size, I could lug her a good 25 kilometers in a single day.
下ろしてよ
Drops her back into the water.
Oh, sorry.
びっくりしたのよさ女の子を驚かせたらダメなのよ
Sorry.
I wasn't planning to call out to you, but it's better than letting you fall into the pond, isn't it?
Except for she wouldn't have fallen into the pond if we didn't call out to her.
助けてくれてありがとう
No need to thank me. I did the natural thing given the circumstances.
Following you all around campus to figure out what your patterns are, and then saving you from an incident that I introduced myself.
Yes.
Look at me shamelessly doing the life-saving hero number, despite being in large part responsible for the problem in the first place. I might have the makings of an American politician. Damn. But also true.
Yeah.
Makina gives a quick bow of thanks, and without another word starts to run away from me yet again.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey, hold it. Where do you think you're going?
Dry off.
Don't give him that, Why are you running away from me?
別に逃げてないのよ私に何か用
When she asks me point blank, it's not like I have any particular justification for detaining her here. Papers, please. That said, it's kind of unpleasant to be avoided this blatantly. At the very least, if there's a reason she's doing this, I want to know about it.
I think I asked this before, but are you scared of me?
If I keep asking you, maybe the answer will change.
そうじゃないけど
If there's some reason why you're avoiding me, how about telling me? If possible, I'll try to address it.
Again with the silent treatment. Deciding to pursue the conversation more patiently, I squat down to match my line of sight with Makina's.
Do you remember my name?
風見Yuuji.
Good job, have a cookie.
That's right. Yuuji's fine.
名前で呼ぶの恥ずかしいよ。
Okay, then call me what you want.
じゃあお兄ちゃん。
Well, that's gonna make a route awkward.
Oh, neat.
I have to say, being called her big brother is a bit embarrassing on my end. But
What? Alright.
when I turn around in response to the splashing sounds coming from the pond behind me, there are a number of fish gathered at the surface of the water, flapping their mouths in demand for more food.
There's a lot of talking and not a lot of food coming.
It seems they've come to expect a handout when people stand near the pond.
Makina, you still have breadcrumbs left.
うん。
Makina thrusts her hand into her skirt pocket and rummages through its contents.
これは違う。これも違う。
How much do you have in your pockets?
It's just the what do you call it? The like briefcase or whatever, the loadout from Resident Evil 4.
Oh, yeah.
Why is there an egg in here?
I mean, they might eat an egg. As she talks, she pulls things out of her pockets one after the other. The items that emerge are mostly sweets like candy, chocolate, and chewing gum, along with an erratic selection of tools like nail clippers, rubber bands, and glue sticks.
I misread that as glow sticks.
I mean, it wouldn't be that far off the mark based on everything else. Although I've heard that women's purses are connected to the fourth dimension, this girl's pockets seem to be connected to a garbage dump. No, it's a pocket dimension. Makina carelessly rains down the rubbish that emerges on the ground around her.
One after another. What is this?
I pick up a plastic container shaped like a large film canister. There's a label pasted on the side filled with numbers and symbols of uncertain meaning.
それはダメ。それはチルチルにあげるラムネなの。返して。
For what?
I'm not gonna steal it or anything. Here, take it.
When I hold out the case for her, Makina snatches it back instantly.
これは絶対に食べたらダメなのよ。
Okay.
I'm not gonna sneak bites of other people's food at my age.
そんなこと言って信用できないのよさ。世の中にはそう言っておいてこっそり隠れて食べちゃってすっかりいい気持ちになっちゃった大きいお姉さんもいるのよさ。
woman.
I like how that's just the ongoing thread for Amine.
Amane, huh?
なんでアマネーだってわかったの？
I don't know that the moniker oversized woman fits anyone else.
I didn't. Just saying the first name that popped into my head. Really was her? Huh. Guess she's got a surprisingly gluttonous side.
私から聞いたって言ったら嫌なのよ。ほら、パンをあげるからこれで我慢するのよさ。
What am I, a koi?
Wait, you mean like the literal one or money?
Good as her word, Makina shoves some half-eaten bread under my face. Alright.
はい、全部食べていいのよさ。
Oh.
いっぱい食べてまるまる太るのよ。
Now eat me! Oh my god! No, I wasn't planning to eat it.
Wait, what kind of bread? Oh wait, no, it's white bread. Never mind. I take the bread scraps from Makina, tear off some small pieces, and throw them into the pond. Because if she shoved focaccia in my face, I would eat it.
Some what?
Focaccia. It's delicious.
What is it?
It's like it's an Italian bread that's baked with a lot of different herbs and spices and stuff in it. The fish at the surface struggle like a pack of piranha for the food, messily gulping it all down.
Nice appetite, huh? I thought these things were carp, but now that I get a closer look, they're actually goldfish?
金魚なのよ。去年神社のお祭りで私が救ったのよさ。
Was that not the original purpose of this pond?
Wait. From a goldfish snatching game, huh?
そう
If these were originally goldfish from a scooping game, they're almost certainly the tiny kind that's sold as live food for carnivorous fish in pet shops, but
These things are huge.
毎日餌をあげてたらどんどん大きくなったのよ。
actually, if I remember correctly, I do believe that goldfish will grow to fit their environment.
Yeah, it's just that, much like in this situation, 99% of goldfish ever given out at fairs or carnivals just die in like 2 days.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're not that healthy to begin with.
Yeah. Fish generally can keep growing as long as they're alive, so the more you feed them, the bigger they'll get, but just what have you been feeding them?
The spread is filled with steroids.
パンとか普通に金魚の餌とか暇な時とか休み時間のたびにあげてたのよ。
Huh. I get it. Fish don't really have a sense of being full, and they don't feel nerve pain either, so they'll eat as much as you give them, even if their stomachs are bulging out.
そうなの？
I mean, the number one cause of death from aquarium fish is indigestion from being overfed, or I don't know, that's what it said. Something I read when I was a kid.
なんて本？
I think it was a magazine called Monthly Junior Science. There was an article about raising fish in ozonated water where it was mentioned.
へえ、お魚の本なの？
Well, not just fish. It had features on things like animals or space as well. My older sister was a seriously dedicated reader. I'd pick up magazines like that when she finished, although half of it went over my head.
As I'm recalling the contents of the science magazine I read back then, I suddenly remember something.
Hey, Makina, you had some pickled squid in that pocket, didn't you?
あるけど、金魚にあげるの？
No, just take it out for now. Also, have anything that we could use as string?
お裁縫の木目糸ならあるけど、何するの？
I'm gonna get that crawfish.
You'll see.
Receiving the squid from Makina, I firmly tie one end of the thread around it, and then knot the other end to a tree branch I picked up at random.
釣り竿？
Exactly. So now
I toss the squid dangling by the thread into the pond. Around the area where I threw the squid, I can see the shape of the crawfish Makina had been poking at earlier. When I jiggle the squid in front of his face, within a matter of seconds the crawfish extends his pincers and firmly seizes the bait.
There. Hooked him. See that?
すげえ！ザニガニ釣れた！
It's a crawfish, not a clawfish. You got the word wrong.
As I dangle the captured crustacean in front of her eyes, Makina stares at it with an expression of immense curiosity.
ザニガニ真っ赤だね。
I can see it's just going to continue being a clawfish.
There must be a lot of edible aquatic plants or something in there. Crawfish turn red when they have abundant food.
餌が少ないとどうなるの？
They turn blue.
青くな
Dabu dee,
る？
dabu die. Well, yeah, if you take a small newborn crawfish and continuously give it food like potatoes, radishes, or sardines that don't contain carotene, it'll turn blue in a month or so.
本当に？
I read it in a book when I was a kid and ended up trying it out myself.
That's how I earned the reputation as a clawfish killer, or crawfish killer. Now you got me saying it.
There were some that ended up with like a lot of violet spots or white flecks, but I remember getting a few that turned out deep blue as well.
いいなあ。私もやってみたい。
Okay, then try to catch one yourself.
I pull the captured crawfish off the squid to return to the pond, and then hand the fishing pole to Makina.
私に釣れるかな。やったことないのよさ。
Have you ever played Sega Bass Fishing? Experiencing new things is always worthwhile, so you might as well start trying to catch one yourself.
じゃあやってみる。
Don't fall into the pond, alright? Also, try to get the smallest one you can.
頑張るのよさ。
Taking the crude pole from me, Makina forcefully hurls the squid into the pond.
ザニガニ釣れるといいな。
I already told you it's crawfish, clawfish.
All I could think when I saw the ripple in the pond was, oh hey, we're at the beginning of Kinkoi again.
仕方がないのよさ。私はバカだから。
Alright. Is that the issue here? I mean, I do remember pronouncing snail as smail back when I was in elementary school for a while.
Here's
But-
the smell, it never failed.
After my sister pointed it out to me, I stopped making that mistake.
Didn't you have someone to point out that sort of mistake for you? Your mom, for instance.
I don't have a mom.
お母さんは私のこと嫌ってるから。
Ooh.
Well, damn.
Okay.
I see.
She didn't make a doll replica of you and treated that like her daughter instead of you, did she? There's no mother in the world who hates her child, was my mother's line, but by now, I'm all too well aware that the world isn't that simple. I suppose there really are mothers who hate their children. And for those children, that can't be a topic they want to chat about with some stranger. An awkward attempt at consolation would backfire here.
お兄
That's
ちゃ
right,
んは
buddy.
優しい人なのね。
You're right, that's not awkward, that's just perfect for any situation.
It kinda is. Huh. Me?
It seems like I haven't quite gotten the hang of being called Oni-chan yet.
You see, how am I nice?
ね、私の家族に無関心でいてくれるところ。
I just wasn't interested enough to risk it.
なんで嫌われてるのか興味ない？
Well, he might not be, but we are. I stare steadily at Makina's small back, silhouetted against the pond.
If you want to talk, I'll listen.
ね。
Don't they say that kids are cuter when they're a little dumb?
私のバカを侮っちゃいけないのよ。こう見えても私札付きで筋金入りのバカなのよさ。
Somebody told you that. Can't say I've ever heard of anyone with that fierce a reputation for being stupid before.
Well, don't worry about it. There's nothing but idiots in my vicinity, including me.
I'm surrounded by idiots.
ね、私ね、別にお兄ちゃんのことが嫌いで避けてたわけじゃないのよ。逆に嫌われたくなくて、バカな子だなってそう思われないように、なるべく近寄らないようにしてたのよさ。
Aw.
It's like I said, I'm surrounded by idiots. If I went around hating people for something like that, I'd run out of my supply of hate real fast.
But I would increase my supply of hyenas. Well, there certainly are people who can't hold together their fragile sense of self-worth except by looking down on others. Even a few true idiots who take those emotions to the extreme become dictators or cult leaders and launch hunts against their inferiors.
But why assume you'll be hated over something like that anyway? That way of thinking seems counterproductive.
Debase yourself by saying, I'm just an idiot, and you'll just puff up the many self-styled geniuses of the world.
でもね、私 あまねんみたいに綺麗じゃないし、ユミちゃんみたいに頭良くないし、何の才能もないのよさ。
You got a cat to be your pillow, that's pretty impressive.
There's no point in standing around with your mouth open waiting for talent to fall from the sky. You make your own.
どうやって？
No matter what you're doing, the most essential thing is to not give up. Fail as many times as it takes. And keep trying until you can call yourself average.
Or perfectly adequate.
それでも人並みだよ。
Average is just fine. If you can collect a nice group of really average level skills, that's already above average. You've created your own sort of talent. You are, as we'd call it, Mario.
Being a hard worker is a talent in its own right, were my sister's words.
And from that group of average skills, you can work to improve further on the things you think that you're suited for. A person blessed with talent, in a manner of speaking, is just someone who found a path well suited to them early on. When you get down to it, people can accomplish nearly anything as long as they don't give up. Obvious, but it's true. On the other hand, guys who give up at the first setback will never get anything done. There's no need to rush. You're still a kid, you've got time. Try out anything and everything, struggle around as much as you want.
I rest my hand on Makina's head with a gentle thump. It's just at the right height for this sort of thing.
That's what school is for, right?
そうなのかな。
At the very least, I think the principal wants this school to be that sort of place. So you might as well throw out your chest and do as many stupid things as you want, with pride.
Of course, if this girl ends up doing something truly dramatically stupid, the principal will be the one facing the music, so I'm probably overstepping my bounds just a little bit here.
じゃあ私バカでもいいの？
Why not? Being dumb is fine. In the first place, guys who go around calling themselves geniuses are either weaklings with fragile egos or jokers who use the line to get a laugh. And even if you were some genius, that just makes it easy to mistake yourself for a perfect human and start slacking off. Hairs like that get passed by the tortoises of the world eventually.
そっか。やっぱいい人ね、お兄ちゃん。
Don't get me wrong. I just wanted to try playing the nice guy for a bit. You shouldn't trust me that easily. Got it?
And I played you like a fool.
あ、知ってるそれ。ツンデレってやつなのよさ。チルチルがいつも練習してるのよ。勘違いしないでよねって。
Ooh, she called that.
Oh. How to put this? I'm not sure how I feel about being put in the same boat as that girl. Makina, I think you've got a bite.
おお、なんとしたことか。
Pull it up, pull it up.
No need to rush. Slowly pull it out of the water.
ザリガニ、あ、違う。ザリガニ釣れてる。釣れたのよさ。
Did you almost drop it?
See, people can do anything if they try. So, don't give up before you start, okay?
なんか自信ついた感じ。このザリガニを部屋に持って帰って青くなるか実験してみたい。
Hey, she said it right that time.
Crawfish, you've got a career in Vegas. Okay, then you should go to Amane or Sachi and see if you can find an aquarium to raise it in. Make sure you only feed it stuff without keratin.
アジとかイワシ、大根やじゃがいも。
Oh, you remembered.
I put my hand on Makina's head and ruffle her hair around roughly. Turns out she has photographic memory.
Wait, hold
こ
on.
う見えても記憶力は結構いいのよ。
She didn't see it.
No, photographic memory doesn't necessarily mean seeing it. It can be like, you can still recall something. Because if she remembers
Okay.
somebody saying something, I think that's still technically photographic memory.
Might be. Because I'm thinking like eidetic memory, where it's an image that's recalled. But yeah, I guess it could be. Yeah. All right. Well, better get that crawfish in water while it's still in good shape. Don't overfeed it, okay?
Comes back, it's the size of Gary's Krabby.
わかった。ありがとうお兄ちゃん。また遊んでくれる？
Yeah. See you later.
ありがとう。
Makina, still clutching the crawfish, waves her hand cheerfully and takes off at full speed toward the dorm.
And that's how I got a little sister.
I mean,
Thanks. Huh?
I don't recall doing anything worthy of much gratitude, but regardless, hearing such a happy thanks feels kind of pleasant. Maybe it's because I was raised in an environment where such words were very rare, but I think being able to thank others so freely is also a sort of talent. It probably seems perfectly commonplace to her, so I'm sure she's not even conscious of that skill.
I sort of get the feeling that she may be overlooking the talents she does have.
Probably. Ah, I get it. I guess that's what makes her an idiot. They say that idiots don't catch colds, but it's probably more accurate to say idiots don't realize when they've caught a cold. In the same way, because Makina is an idiot, she probably is oblivious to her own abilities.
Honestly, what a weird girl.
But then again, weird people are rarely boring. Or so I think, basking in the peaceful, sluggish atmosphere Makina left in her wake. That's true. I don't think we're boring. And we're pretty weird.
We are.
Alright, well I think this is a good spot to end this episode. We got to learn a bit more about Makina, and she's actually a very sweet, albeit strange girl. I'm very curious how a relationship with her would work, because I'm pretty sure she's one of the routes, and I guess she's going to be the quote-unquote little sister route.
It makes sense. Someone had to be there.
Yeah, that is true. She has a very different feel from most of the other protagonists that we've met.
Yes, they're all very different.
They are. It's interesting, because we've got that really good rapport with Amine. She's almost a little bit aggressive? Assertive? Assertive is probably better.
Definitely assertive, but then she's like very intelligent, like on an emotional level.
Yes, that is a good way to describe her. And then Sachi, she's very kind, very patient, very robotic. Still not convinced she's a human.
Yep.
And then we still have a lot to learn about the would-be Sundari and the murdery one.
Yeah. That one.
The stabby one.
Uh,
We're still getting names down. It's going to take us a bit. By the time we get through
Okay.
episodes like this with other characters, we'll have them down, I think.
absolutely, yeah. Okay, based on my own history,
All right.
I want you to think about all of them. Which one am I most interested in?
The stabby one?
That is correct.
I had a feeling.
You know, interesting.
We don't need to read into that any further. It's fine. I'm still withholding judgment. I'm not sure just yet.
No, I actually really like Amine.
Yeah, Amine is probably my favorite, but she obviously is kind of angled as being the likable character because she's the one that
Exactly.
establishes
Yeah.
rapport with Yuuji first.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't dislike any of them. They seem interesting. I'm looking forward to see them all get their own kind of episodes like this.
Yes. Well, and I did read from the previous comments too. Apparently, we do have to be very cognizant of the choices we make in this game because it's I think it's kind of like Magikoi in that regard, where the choices
Oh.
are significant, and if we don't pre-plan, it could screw us.
You know what? The first one we're gonna do blind.
Yep. Well,
It's just gonna be follow us on the journey of making the choices that we make and just see where this lands, and then we'll plan out after the first time.
Yeah, and I think we basically had discussed doing that too. And
Yeah.
you know what? If we end up on a bad end, that is a legitimate path.
Yeah,
So
it happens.
we'll see. I'm still going to save regularly to try and make our trek back
Absolutely.
through. But as we said, I don't know, I'll probably cut it out, but the game crashed while we were toward the end. And
yeah.
I will say the skip function is very fast, which is nice, but
Very good, very efficient.
hopefully that won't be a recurring issue. Crossed fingers. I think that's all I've got. Do you have anything else?
Nope.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for watching. We hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we hope to see you in the next one. For now, we are the Bridge Boys, signing off.